Okay, it's time for more of the little things that go into an old truck restoration. Completely different from the old incandescent. Wow, that looks nice. Nice. That in the video. We're going to work on the steering wheel. Check this out. Just push down on it, turn counterclockwise, and the horn ring comes right off. Get your handy dandy steering wheel remover and take the steering wheel off. Voila. Okay, now here's my steering wheel. Cracked, dirty, ready for a restoration. Now I'll use my rotary tool and go ahead and widen out those cracks so we can get some of that PC7 putty in there and fill them completely. And PC7 applied. Worked it into all those little nooks and crannies. Filled twice. Sanded twice. I am ready to prime and paint. Let's go. Here I've applied some glaze putty in the finest cracks, then more of the endless sanding, then more glaze putty, then more endless sanding, then a final coat of high adhesion primer, and then final sanding with some 400 grit sandpaper. On to the last phase. Finally, the payoff. Painting. I'm using Ford Paint Code E, the original Colonial White. Okay, let's get this beauty back on. I think that's straight. And the horn ring. Nice. Oh my goodness, that looks nice. That is sweet. That's way too pretty. A truck should never look so pretty. Okay, I'm installing a electric fuel pump on the inside edge of the frame. There's the front of the truck, the wheel, and it's on the passenger side. I've already got the wiring hooked up. I've already got a switch on there. And it is switched at the ignition. And now all I got to do is put the fuel line on. Got to cut it, plug it, put it on, and start it up. Okay, installed, looking good. All hooked up. I don't use the truck that often. It's not a daily driver for me. I've got the 68 F250 for that. And it sits for a month or two. It actually doesn't get run, for every couple of weeks or longer. So the carburetor gets dry, the bowl gets dry, and I got to sit there and pump, with the manual fuel pump. and crank on the starter. That wears down the starter, that wears down the battery, and then it finally starts. I can take the air cleaner off and hit it with a little gas every time, but that's a pain. This way, I'm just going to go ahead and hook it up so that I've got a toggle in there that's switched. And here, I'll show you. Okay, so here's my setup. Went ahead and installed a toggle switch. And I couldn't find anything to mount it under the dash with. That is a 7/16 box end wrench that I went ahead and cut the side off of and bent it at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so key in the on position. Turn on the pump. Can you hear it? All right. And pump off. And just like that on a cold start. Yeah. That's the way to cold start an engine. Okay, fuel pump installed. I had picked up a fuel gauge. There it is there. And it works good enough, it's fine. But it's not as shiny. Maybe that's corrosion on the face there. I'm going to try and buff that out, kind of polish it. Here, I'll show you. Okay, fuel gauge is out. I'm going to pop these little tabs on the corners here, on the edges, and get that off without ruining the needle. Let's give it a try. Oh! Oh crap, that didn't work. Okay. Well, don't do what I did. Not quite. Okay, how about a vice grip? Oh, that looks pretty good. Try to get it more even. Well, I've got some adhesive back sandpaper. Let me try this and see how it works. I just stuck it onto the pad because this just isn't giving me enough of an impression. It just doesn't look right. Okay, well, here goes nothing. Oh no, that's more like it. Okay, now if I take that and smooth it out a bit. Okay, let me draw on those black lines and try that. I don't know, what do you think? Is that a win or a fail? It looks a little bit better, but I can still see the old corrosion on there. I don't know. Win or fail? What do you guys think? Okay, so here's an update. It looks horrible in there. It doesn't look any better than it did before. Here, look. So, that's no good. Alright, so this is the update. I went ahead and bought a new one. Well, a new old one. And look at that compared to this. Yeah, it just looks so much better. I don't know. All that effort, but you know, maybe sometimes you got to buy what you need instead of trying to fix it. Okay, 7 screws to get the gauge cluster off. And it's the one on top here. There you go. You can see the orange and green contact. There's a couple of screws in there as well. I'll take those off, reverse it, and be done. Okay, installed. That looks way better. I mean, that was the way to go in this case. Looks nice. Way better than the garbage I was trying to get on there. Okay, on to the next project. Lesson learned. Sometimes the folks that own your truck before you owned your truck do things to it that, well, that you wouldn't necessarily do. In this case, the previous owner had mounted this tube. It's thick metal. And he was a mechanic. He hauled engines. And so he would put a device in here, a crane, that would take the engine and lift it up and pull it into the bed, and then he welded in these mounts so that he could secure it when he would travel with it. I don't need such a thing. I'm not going to use that, so that's got to go. I'm going to go ahead and rip that out of there. There we go. The trick here is going to be seeing if I can save the bolt and the backing piece from going down inside the double wall tailgate, because it's just a cave in there. Okay, there, I got it. There we go. Come on. Ah, don't want to lose it. Ta! There it is. Woo! Okay, got all the spare metal out of there. Got the nuts off underneath. Now it should just slip right out of there. This was her washer. Yeah! Gone. Okay, so there we go. Leaving me with a pile of rust and some holes. Yeah. And more holes. But it's gone. Looks like all I had to get was the weld. The bolt's still intact. Huh. Okay, and all ground down. It looks nice and smooth. Okay, between that and that tube in the corner, gone. I'm on to the next project. Whoa! All of a sudden my speedometer's going nuts. There it goes. Something going on there for sure. I am not doing 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm not doing 80. Okay. Something going on with the teeth on that speedometer where it's hooked up either here at the... There it goes. Making some noise too. I'll have to check it out. I'm pulling over. Yeah, something's making it spin like crazy. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, so it looks like it's... Well, the speedometer cable on the gauge side was fine. So here, there it is. I don't know. I might have stripped the thread there in the little gear that's inside there, but I can't tell. I don't have any tools with me on the road. I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect it at the speedometer, the cable at the gauge, and then just go ahead and keep running. It's no big deal. I thought that the problem would be a gear on the transmission side or the gears on the speedometer side, the speedometer itself maybe even. But the guys online recommend that it's probably just the cable. They said they've seen this problem where the speedometer jumps around higher than the regular RPM, and that that's caused by the speedometer cable binding, that it's too dry in there, that it's causing it to rotate incorrectly. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and give that a try. It's an easy fix, probably the easiest one I could do and the cheapest one as well. So I'm going to try that and see what happens. Okay, I think I found the problem. Let me grab the camera. Okay, see the cable? That's the speedometer cable. And I went to clean it up. And I started cleaning it, and look at that. Yeah, I don't know. Is that metal fatigue? Just because it's old, but it's getting contaminants in there. That cable is shot. So I mean, even if it's something else, I got to replace that cable. So there's my solution. Problem solved. Okay, back of the speedometer where the cable goes in. Speedometer cable. Speedometer cable on the firewall in the engine side. I'm going to need to measure this thing. That's why I'm going ahead and taking it out now. It goes down to a clip here. Looks like another clip down in here, and then down to the transmission. I'll pull it off from there. And there it is. Okay, it's out. Look at that gear. That thing's nice. That is not the problem. This is. Yeah, that cable's shot. Okay, the new one is in. We'll take the gear off the old cable. That little C-clip comes off. It goes on to the new one. Just like that. Okay, that speedometer's working great. It was the cable. That was the fix. Old wiper motor's dead. We're going to go ahead and replace it with a new old one and service it. I went ahead and got some new, well, used OEM stock, guaranteed in working condition, so I'm going to switch them out. Let's see how it goes. Well, we can go ahead and check the old motor here, make sure that it's working okay. Go ahead and ground it out from the battery. Red to red. And, ooh, yeah, it's got plenty of power. Works great. Yay, that works good. Okay, we'll go ahead and take out the old one. Okay, now 3 small bolts come out. 1, 2, and 3. I'll be using a 7/16 inch socket. Now I've got the wiring removed. It was easy to pull out. Now, underneath the dash. Okay, now it's all installed. Got the new old stock, well, not really new, but old stock in there. Gasket material on. Linkage is put on. And now I just got to clean up this wiring. Okay, I got to put some new wiper blades on. Mine are shot. There's the old one. We're going to put on some Trico 33122 12-inch classic blade sets, and we'll see how that new wiper motor works. Okay, a moment of truth. We'll go ahead and put it in start, and wiper. Yeah, they work. That's great. Okay, let's see how they park. Oh, that's a little high. Well, that can be adjusted. There's an adjustment on the motor where they can be put in park at a lower or higher position. I'll do that. Back underneath the hood, there is this little shaft right here. It's a 1/4 inch hex and a small adjustment to the left, and it adjusts them lower. A small adjustment to the right, and it adjusts them higher. We're going to adjust them a little bit lower. Okay, well, you know I got to take it out for a drive, so I'm going to do that now. Hey, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, hammer away at that subscription button, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.